Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Tarot Scopes again. We're going to be doing the Tarot Scopes for the sign of Virgo. This is my Virgo painting for the month of May 2025. This includes Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising. Before we get down to the fun of it all, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this lovely family of like-minded souls. To my tried and true have been walking the path through my garden with me for years. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. To my new members on YouTube, welcome to the membership. Things are going to expand as I get my feet wet in this whole idea of having a membership. And to my Patreon folk, thank you so much for your continued support. More to come for you as well. And of course, for those of you who aren't a member or aren't a patron, there's still plenty of things that I offer on this channel, including moon shadows. I do moonshine with Ona once a month for the full moon, moon shadows for the new moon, and every Saturday night we do Mystic Sisters Live. So join us for that if you care to. It could either be on you could either join from my channel, Victoria Skirbo, or from Ona's channel, Ona's Tarot. Okay, so let's get to the astrology. I want to look at the astrology of the month first, and then we'll look at it specifically how it affects you as a Virgo, and then we'll do the card reading. So I just need to find where I have that. Okay. Always an issue for me. Technology could use a good Virgo. All right, so as we look at this, we're looking at in the center here, the Tree of Life, and all the connections on the Tree of Life, including where the planets are. This month, we see we have a shift in a planet changes signs up here. This is Saturn. This is because Saturn this month will be going into Aries for a couple months, and then it'll go back into Pisces and finish up, but it goes into Aries this month. So we can see that there's a shift here. Of course, this is the Sephiroth of the sun, so we always see activity in the sun. So we start, well, first let's look at the vibrational stuff. We're working with 3 vibrations and numerologically this month. Of course, the universal year vibration of 9, 2025 is a 9-year. 9 is about separating the wheat from the chaff. It's endings and beginnings. You want to let go of that which no longer serves you, and you want to focus on a seed of wisdom that you can plant within the next cycle, which of course begins in 2026 when we move into a 10-1 vibration for the universal year. This is connected to the sign of Virgo. And what's specific about Virgo, although this the south node of the moon actually is in Virgo at this time. And so the south node of the moon in your sign means that your sign and themes around your sign are being released. And some of that can be some pretty harsh self-criticism. Virgo tends to be very critical, but not of others more than they are of themselves. Their search for perfection can sometimes get in the way of their happiness, actually. Not so much their progress, because they make really good progress, but sometimes they forget, or you forget as a Virgo, to kick back and have some fun. And yet we look at the world and we say, fun, look, it's a mess. What are we going to do? Well, part of this is sort of letting go of the need to fix everything and allow things to move forward in a less sure way, North Node in Pisces. All right, so we start, sorry. And then we also have the 5 vibration. I got off on a tangent there. We have the 5 vibration because we're in the 5th month. This is the Hierophant card. It's associated with the sign of Taurus, incidentally. And of course, we have the Sun in Taurus, we have Uranus in Taurus, we have Mercury in Taurus this month. So there's quite a bit of Taurus still out there. The 5 is about wisdom, both traditional wisdom and also ancient wisdom. It's also our ability to hear that still small voice within. So the answers really do lie within in May. When we add these two vibrations together, we get a third vibration, which is the specific vibration for the month and year, which in this case is a 14-5. 14-5 is the Temperance card. It's connected to the sign of Sagittarius, and it runs right up the center of the tree between the Sephiroth of the moon and the Sephiroth of the sun. This is known in occult circles as the path of the mystic. This is when we're going straight up the tree, and it's a very steep path, and it requires a lot of concentration and moving forward. It speaks of the probationary path, or the intelligence of temptation. We will be tempted this month to get off track, but it is important that we just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And it's helpful that we have Taurus, the Sun in Taurus, and other Taurus planets this month, because that is the nature of Taurus. The nature of Earth is to put one foot in front of the other and just continue on. And so the Earth signs are, in a way, might have a little bit of a hand up on these difficult times in that respect. Okay, so we start the month with a conjunction between Venus and Neptune. Venus and Neptune have a special relationship because Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. It's considered Venus is love and Neptune is love brought to its highest level, compassion. Venus is just coming out of a retrograde cycle. She just moved into Aries at the end of April, and now she meets up with Neptune, which just moved into Aries at the end of March. So we had the end of March, we had Neptune move into the first degree of Aries, first time in 165 years. Last time it was there, 1861. When then we had, at that time, Venus was she moving forward? Yeah, she was moving forward, but she was still in Pisces, right? No, she changed directions in April, and then started moving forward. She changed direction in Pisces, so she retrograded all the way back to Pisces, turned around, came back, got into Aries, and now she's meeting up with Neptune. So she is a goddess on a mission. Venus in Aries is not afraid to make a fuss or cause good trouble, as John Lewis used to say. In fact, Cory Booker, who did that very long 25 hours, 5 minutes or 7 minute speech, and started the speech with, "We're going to get into some good trouble," actually has a Venus in Aries. So that's very interesting. On the 4th of May, Pluto stations retrograde. It's at 4 degrees. This is as far forward as Pluto's going to move this year. It goes all the way back, I think, to like 1 degree, 30 minutes, turns around at the end of the year, and then starts going direct, but won't reach this degree until next year. With Pluto moving retrograde, Pluto is power, and in Aquarius, it's technology. And I think we've had a lot of power struggles around issues of technology and people who propose to be the technology people. Now with Pluto moving backwards, that sort of recedes a little, hopefully, and we can come to terms with the changes, the transformations that we've had through Pluto moving through those first 4 degrees of Aquarius. On the 5th, Mercury makes a waning sextile to Jupiter. This is a really good time to get together with others of like mind. This is planning for a more progressive future. On the 6th, Venus makes a sextile to Pluto. This opens the lines of communication. People will let you know what they need, what they desire, Pluto. On the 10th, Mercury, which has been in Aries, now moves into Taurus. It's good that Mercury is moving into the Taurus. It's not so happy with Taurus because Mercury is quick and Taurus is slow. But I think slowing down is probably will be looked positively, at least for me. On the 12th, we have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio. Full moons in Scorpio with the sun in Taurus activates the axis of values. What's important to us and what values do we share with others? What resources do we have and what resources do we share with others? Things like insurance and Social Security, those are all sort of Scorpio energies where we share. It's like a pool, right? And then we have the sun in Taurus, which is just like what's in our hands, right? So we get an eyeful or an eye-opening experience with that. We also have Mercury making a first quarter square with Pluto. That is a crisis in action. People are going to be saying a lot of things, what they want, how they want to get there. That could be good or it could be bad. It depends on who's saying it and what their intention is. On the 17th, the sun makes its conjunction to Uranus. This starts the Sun-Uranus synodic cycle, which brings illumination, illuminates, wakes us up, right? A conjunction is powerful. Uranus is explosive. This is an explosive time. This May is especially explosive, especially as we get to um, towards the end of May. Things really sort of rev up again. Of course, toward the end of May, we have the sun in Gemini, so the energy shifts. It's more mental. So this period in Taurus sort of puts our feet on the ground a little bit more, which can be a little bit shocking depending on, what we see when our feet land on the ground. On the 18th, Mercury makes a square to Mars. This can be argumentative, so be aware of that. Right after that Sun conjunct Uranus, you may become aware of something, and then the next day you're like about it. All right. On the 20th, the Sun makes a sextile to Saturn. This brings structure, illuminates structures that we could possibly use to expand our knowledge base. On the 20th, I said that. Also on that day, sorry, along with the sextile is the sun ingressing into Gemini. And so things start to lighten up a bit with the sun in Gemini. On the 22nd, Thursday, Venus makes a trine to Mars and the sun makes a sextile to Neptune. These are nice aspects. So after a kerfuffle with Mercury square Mars, the sun sextile Saturn isn't bad news, but with the conjunction of the sun to Uranus, a lot of, and on the 22nd, we get a little bit of an ease of movement. On the 24th, the sun makes a trine to Pluto. This will bring up ego, so be aware that you'll see big expressions of ego at this time. We also have that day Mercury make a conjunction to Uranus. The Sun and Mercury are moving very close to each other. In fact, we have the Sun make the conjunction to Uranus, and then we have Mercury make the conjunction to Uranus. And then we have the Sun move into Gemini, then Mercury moves into Gemini, and then at the end of the month, May, we have a conjunction of the Sun and Mercury. Mercury is direct, so it's considered a superior conjunction. What you see is what you get with that. You don't really have to move things through your filters. It's right in front of your face. Along with that Mercury conjunct Taurus, we have probably the most important thing happening this month, and that's Saturn's ingress into Aries. It hasn't been there for about 29 years, well, 27 years. And so it's been a long time since it's been in there. And Saturn is the planet of reality, and Aries is new beginnings. So a new reality, perhaps. Now, Saturn is only going to be temporarily in Aries. It is going to be in Aries, move forward, then retrograde back into Pisces and finish up at the beginning of next year. And then it's into Aries for 2.5 years. So along with Neptune, which is going to be there for 14 years. So the shift, the energy really does change in 2026 for many reasons, but that's probably the major one. We have a sextile between Mercury and Neptune on the day of the new moon in Gemini. Why is that significant? Well, Gemini's ruling planet is Mercury. A waxing sextile opens the lines of communication to spirit. So while Gemini isn't really always considered the most spiritual of signs, of course, any sign can be spiritual. It has a mystical, magical quality to it with that sextile to Neptune. On the 27th, Mercury makes a waxing trine to Pluto. These sextiles and trines to Mercury is a flow of energy. It's a flow of energy and it's opportunistic. It's nice energy, it's progressive energy, and it's deep soul work, really. And then on Friday, as I said, we have that superior conjunction of Gemini. Okay, in Gemini, 10 degrees of Gemini. Now, I'm going to bring you to your specific setup. All right, so let's take a look at Virgo for the month. We can see that much of the energy in the chart is above the horizon, meaning that you're going to be very busy in the outer world. So we know Virgos like to be busy. Um, let's see, where do we want to start? Well, we can start with Pluto. Pluto's down here in your sixth house. Virgo, of course, is going to be there for 19 years, so we have plenty of time to talk about that. Saturn starts the month in Pisces here, then moving into Aries. It moves into that eighth house. It's going to be there for a little while and then come back. I did have Saturn go through my eighth house a number of years ago. Actually, I think is Saturn in my eighth house now. Well, anyway, and what it did at the time was it really challenged the way that I related on an emotional level to other people. I did feel a little bit isolated at that time. So there can be, because the eighth house is blending of energy. It's Scorpio. It's about merging. And when Saturn is there, there's less to merge with, really. But it does give us an opportunity to really evaluate how we relate. Venus actually starts the month in that house and then actually starts and ends that month in that house. Remember, Venus is moving direct now in Aries. She makes that conjunction to Neptune right as she starts and then really sort of moves through. Venus is what we value and what's important to us. Mercury starts the month in Aries and then quickly moves into Taurus, spends most of the month in Taurus and then moves into Gemini. As I said in other readings, Mercury's moving really fast now. She goes through, not completely through, but half, full and half, right, of the signs. We have a new moon in the sign of Gemini. Um, we have the sun up here. We have Mercury up here. These two planets come in later in the month. And of course, we have right at the end of the month, we have that conjunction between the sun and Mercury. And that's going to be happening. And it is a superior conjunction. So it's not retrograde. It's not about looking within. It's about seeing things as they are. And it's going to be very evident to you, Virgo, because it's up there in the most public house. And then, of course, we have Jupiter still moving through that house. It's moving direct now. Jupiter's an expansive principle. So you could have had just, people didn't know who you were. And as Jupiter moves to that house, all of a sudden people are seeing you in a more expanded way. We do have a new moon up there. In Gemini, remember that new moon has that lovely, what is it, a sextile, I think, to Neptune. So there's a sort of a magical, mystical quality to that, and very evident up in the top of the chart. Mars is now moving direct, which is good news, and it is moving through your 12th house, which can be challenging. We can undo ourselves when things are moving through the 12th house. This is the house of hidden enemies. So just be aware, this is a time when, and you're going to be out in the world and you're going to be seen. So just, take that into consideration as you move through the world. Virgo tends to be pretty careful as a rule, not one to take big chances or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about it, but you do have to be aware. Um, you just have to use extra caution. And I could probably say that about everybody at this time in the world, in the way the world is anyway. Here's the full moon. We have the full moon fulling itself, as it were, in the third house, the house of communication, with the sun in the ninth house. This is going to highlight our sense of what's right and what's wrong, the facts, the philosophies around those facts, how we choose to live our life as far from a sort of mental spiritual perspective. This is the axis. Third, ninth house is the axis of the mind. And of course, with Uranus up there in that ninth house, you've been getting flashes now for what, 7 years, 6 years of insight that seem to come out of nowhere. They're coming from your higher self. So. All right. Is there anything else I want to say? No, I think that's it. So what I'm going to do now is stop the share and we're going to do some cards. Let me see. I'm going to select. I think I'll use these. My AstroMatrix deck. And we'll see what's up for Virgo. Okay. What's up for Virgo? Just maybe one more quick shuffle. It's nice for you that Mercury is moving forward. It's always helpful for the Virgo. And moving through three signs, you're probably going to get a lot done. And there's certainly a lot to be done. So keep that in mind. Not that you ever don't. All right, we start with commitments, relationship. Um, this is definitely a seventh house energy here. And we did have some planets in the seventh house, I believe. Let me just check that while I say that. Oh, Saturn. Yes, Saturn. Oh, the north node of the moon. Yeah, the north node of the moon is moving through your seventh house with the south node moving through your first house. The north node is a direction of our destiny. And in Pisces, it's asking us to have faith. Have faith. Have faith that you will have what you want, what you need. You'll have your needs met. Um, yeah, okay, let's see what's crossing the relationship card. Okay, so there's some stress around finances, resources. Maybe you're in a relationship and maybe one of you has lost their job. A lot of people have lost their job because of all the shenanigans that has been going on, at least in this country, and then it's affecting all other countries. So money for everybody is a bit of a stickity wicket. You're concerned with the future and how you're going to be able to feed yourself and move forward and all of that. All right. And you feel at the root of it is you feel like you're at a crossroads or you're stuck. There's this sense of perhaps stuckness. Now, it may not be stuckness, it could just be balance, but you're kind of action oriented. You like to fix what's broken. Just sort of sitting around and meditating about it isn't really your thing. But perhaps that's exactly what you need to do. You need to calm the mind. You need to utilize your intuition. She has a blindfold, so she can't see, but she can certainly intuit. And this card is associated on the Tree of Life with the Sephiroth Hokmah, which is wisdom. And Hokmah is associated with Uranus, and it's an awakening. And so be patient because there is that awakening that will be happening this month for you. You've kind of in the past, you've been bored, disaffected. This can happen, Virgo, very um, does a lot of work and doesn't get necessarily recognized for it. So sometimes it's hard to get your needs met in that respect, be, mostly because you don't ask. Virgo is sort of the worker and doesn't always have the maybe the idea that they could ask for help, perhaps. But yeah, there have been you've been offered things, but you've kind of ignored them a bit. You've kind of ignored them. Okay. In the sky, we have celebration. So there's going to be something to celebrate. That's good news for you as you sort of sit there and wait for the illumination. In the immediate future, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is a card where if you're worried about money, then organize your money, right? You do have Saturn now going to be in that house of other people's money, insurance policies, things like that. So it's going to be top of mind anyway. Just know where your money's at and keep it safe in where you can. Where you can. Okay. How it's seen from the outside, that you're working on a new project. Here's another pentacle. It does seem like the pentacles are money, but they're also health. So this could be you getting some rest and maybe starting something new, learning something new, sort of ground level, or perhaps you're learning something about your body and the limitations and how to work within the limitations that you may have at this moment. Your domestic situation, there's good news coming to your door. Celebratory, there's a lot of celebration. I feel like you don't expect any of the celebration, and yet it's in your cards that it's coming. So that's kind of neat. And if there are parties and your friends say, hey, let's go out, we're going to have a party. So and so is going to have a 40th birthday party. Go, have fun. Have fun. Hopes and fears, healing, temperance. Yeah. Well, a Virgo doesn't fear healing. A Virgo pretty much is healing. So you're hoping for more balance. You're hoping to be able to move through this time of extremes with some grace. And the outcome, somebody looks like somebody's going to be offering you something. It could be an offering of love. Um, the um, the Knight of Cups isn't the most reliable of offers of love, but they are very pure of heart generally, unless they're a scam artist, and then that's something different. But you're pretty careful. Again, you're pretty careful. And, sometimes this is an offer that's too good to be true. But you tend not to jump into offers that are too good to be true. You have more discernment than that. So I'm not too concerned. Then we have the Queen of Cups. This is you being in your power, having dominion over your own spirit, sustaining yourself. And then we have the Star, which is inspiration and democracy. So it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy month for you, I feel, with these cards. I feel like and you are patient. Virgos are pretty patient. So your patience will work. Just do the work that's going to make you feel, if money is an issue, just go over your money, do that. Do what you can to safeguard it and then let it go. There's no guarantees in life anyway. So just because you don't want the stress of like, did I do enough? Did I do enough? Did I do enough? Which Virgo, you do that. Um, yeah. I think in general, it ends up being a better month than you expected it to be when you started. Let's put it that way. Underneath it all, we have the lovers. Here's another. We got a lot of love cards in this. There may be a new relationship coming in for you. The Queen of Cups, this is using your intuition to discern things. And then the Knight of Wands, which is travel. So you could actually either meet somebody while you're traveling, or you may travel with somebody that is a bit of something new in your life, a new adventure, a new love, a new relationship. And again, it doesn't always have to be romantic. It could just be you and a friend, a new friend, having some adventures together. And I think it's really a good energy. So these cards say to have a good attitude. That's going to get you far. I know you're kind of a worrywart and you think of all the permutations of everything. And so that is a strength for you. So you might as well I mean, knowing all the permutations is a strength, not worrying. Worrying is not good for anybody. Um, as long as you do what you need. If you're worrying about something, sometimes it means you haven't attended to it. But if you've attended to it, then there's no point in worrying about it because you did what you could do, right? All right, let me pull a Spirit of the Wheel card. That is the Oracle deck I'm using this month. And I'll put it up and read it from the book. This is the cards, in case you yourself want them. All right. Blue Moon, Mastery, Recognition. Ooh, and Evolution. Looks like you're going to get recognized. So it's about freaking time. Did I say that out loud? Woo. Okay. I'll hold it up. And I got to take my glasses off because I can't just the it's so tiny. Ugh. All right. I'm getting old. What can I tell you? All right, let's see. Now I can't see if I'm focused on this. I do want to focus on this because it is such a lovely card. Okay. Says the blue moon card is also known as the 13th moon. This card represents achievement at the highest level. Two moons occurring within the same cycle means double the energy, influence, and power available to you at this time. This is a perfect opportunity for you to achieve mastery in some area of your life. The blue moon denotes some kind of recognition for your gifts and abilities. Material gain is indicated with this card. See, I told you not to worry. As it signifies abundance on all levels. Self-empowerment is occurring even though you may be fearful of the transition. The blue moon's influence brings synchronicity, and it seems if things just come easier for you. This may very well feel, you may very well feel the energy of the wolf spirit around you. See, there's the wolf in there, right? There's a wolf. The wolf can assist you greatly in this at this auspicious time. Become a master and allow your dreams and visions to be actualized. You have worked hard. You have. So accept the recognition that goes with the blue moon. You deserve it, Virgo. Here's your prayer, Virgo. It says, as I move more fully into my own power, I open my heart to the recognition I deserve. I thank Great Spirit and all those who have helped me along the way. I am ready to be the master and to fully accept abundance in my life. Well, look at you, Virgo. I'm happy to see it. All right. Hopefully, this helps this month. Have yourself a great month. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you again in June. Until then, namaste. Now I have to put my glasses on to see how to shut this off. Goodness gracious. That's not the way. Okay.